information that you have to share. Kathleen Kennedy is in the UK. You see the thumbnail of his video. You'll see her talking to Harrison Ford, who, of course, is dressed as his in Indiana Jones garb, and her husband, little dude with the belly with the hat. That's Frank Marshall, the brains behind the bullshit. She's in Indy 5. She's there for Indy 5. Let's talk about this. Wasn't Indy 5 supposed to be filmed either at the beginning of July or the beginning of August? And why did they move it up? Rumor has it this was going to be her swan song, and then she would go quietly off into the night. Huh. Interesting. Hey, Mad. Very interesting. You know, usually you postpone movies. Howdy. You do things. Where am I going with this? Why did they put it up there? I don't think the Brits want her. I mean, I've already been told by the person who sent me that picture, no! I'm like, we'll pay you money. We're good for it. We'll even pay you in crypto, crying out loud. This, in of itself, on the surface, is not supposed to mean anything, but we've got Lucasfilm, just, there it is. There it is, just kind of sitting there. She's in England pretending to produce a movie. You see her with the star of the movie, and her husband, who actually is the producer of the movie. But that's her. She's wearing the same jacket I've seen her wear before. She's got that same stupid brown helmet head haircut. It's, you know, pretty obvious that, yeah, she's, I mean, she's not working on anything with Star Wars right now. It's all Indiana Jones. Like I said before, take everything with a grain of salt. But again, when public stuff starts kind of dovetailing with the stuff that I've been told, Doomcock's been told, Andre and Tom have been told, you know, Walt Disney World Pro's been told, other people, you know, maybe you should kind of run with, maybe you should go, it is possible, isn't it? Now, let's talk about George Lucas, because I forgot to. Would George Lucas come back? Why in the world wouldn't he want to? When he sold Lucasfilm, it was not because of the fans. It was because Marin County wouldn't let him expand the studio. And they were giving him shit because they're bureaucratic assholes. So he sold to Disney. That's why he sold it. Okay, so no more of these mythologies that the left put out and the Lucas haters put out, or the people who want to rationalize why he sold to Disney and blame the fans. Okay, blame Marin County, blame the Democrats. Okay, his party, by the way. He probably voted for some of those assholes. All right. His rationale was he wanted to spend time with his new baby and his wife. Okay. Okay. That was 2012. The kid's now 9 years old. No. Oh, yeah, she's 9. It's 2021. Maybe, do you guys think, maybe that this could possibly be true? You know, he'd be there long enough to get whoever's going to come in and actually really take over started and going. Interestingly enough, I just saw someone go after Pablo again. You know, just telling you know, hey, Daryl, just saying, hey, kind of being a smartass to him. And he didn't budge, but I didn't see him. He's not confident anymore. Let's put it that way. You think there's nothing going on there, huh? You think the rumors are bullshit, huh? We got KK now in the UK, not running Lucasfilm at all, just, being an executive producer. We've got whatever's going on at Lucasfilm going on while she's gone. Not that there's much difference because she was never there to begin with. And, we've got, her flying monkeys acting cowed and chastened on Twitter. But there's nothing going on. Good people are getting maligned and ridiculed and mocked by people who are too stupid. They're probably the only way they could probably. Yeah, he has been. There are probably people. I mean, the people that are attacking those of us who are basically talking about these rumors and calling fans retards probably have never learned how to tie a shoe. They probably learned how to Velcro their shoes. They wouldn't begin to know how to put the laces on. We're not dealing with people with a that are the sharpest knives in the drawer, if you know what I mean. That's an American saying for you, though, those of you who are not in the United States, and that's colloquialism. Means they just aren't smart. They're not intelligent. They're not instinctive. They don't, and they just don't, and, a lot of people are friends and everything, and I don't look at it as them being friends. What's good for the franchise is what we need to focus on. What's good for the fan base is what we need to focus on. When we hear things like Lucas may be coming back, instead of shitting on it and then getting all pissed off and, calling people names, just if you don't want to agree with it, you got two choices. You can go out and be a dick, or you can just sit back and go, I'm not going to get into it. Scroll past. All right? Backstab someone. All right? But again, to me, her being in the UK right now just screams some of this stuff is actually true. I sent that picture with the thumbnail of this all over the place. So it's not like nobody would really that this would be back. In fact, I surmised that she was in the UK. I surmised she did go to the UK. Okay, so I'm quite sure that everything that we're seeing just with Indy 5, moving up, her being there, is just part of the disengaging, the decoupling from Kathleen Kennedy. So, 360, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. So I don't know why people are so upset. You guys complained about Crystal Skull. I'm like, well, let's see. He found the Ark of the Covenant, these magical stones, and the Holy Grail. And you're pissed off about aliens. Okay. Pissed off about the refrigerator scene. Couldn't just sit back and say it's Indy. I'm going to suspend my dose of reality and just have fun because I laugh my ass off. You have to scenes like that aren't there to tweak your intellectual whatever. They're there for you to laugh at. That's why part of Indiana Jones, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, was to bring history back to people who didn't know it. I mean, you want to know where Antifa comes from? They don't know history. You know where Black Lives Matters comes from? They don't know history. That's why. Okay. History is the most important subject you can learn. I mean, and the fact that George Lucas does believe that somebody from out there visited us, and, it's very strange. I've done enough study in archaeology and ancient civilizations. When you see hieroglyphs of people that look like they're wearing spacesuits. Hey, Len, they don't look like human, talking with a king or whatever. It kind of makes you wonder what what that means, because those symbols all mean everything, and those civilizations don't exist anymore, especially the Mayan civilizations and the Incas and the Olmecs and all the rest of that stuff. They don't exist anymore. And we were lucky by the grace of God to find the Rosetta Stone, so we could decipher hieroglyphics, the Egyptian hieroglyphics. I've actually seen the Rosetta Stone. I put my finger on it and got yelled at. That was something. It was found in Egypt, and it basically helped archaeologists to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics. Because until then, the kings and queens of Egypt and their minions were silent. It's really funny, you say that about the elongating their skulls. There is a Native American tribe called the Natchez. They live down south in Mississippi and Alabama, and they did the same thing. Okay, so I'm not sure where that custom came from, but they did the same thing. Hey, Gregory, how you doing? So, this is all very, so the idea of aliens doesn't bother me. I mean, yesterday, the Pentagon released a report and said, we don't know if aliens exist or not. We have these things out there. We don't know what they are. They may or may not be aliens. We don't know what they are. And again, they didn't say anything more about it. Hi, John 42. Hey, Dave. They didn't say anything more about it because it's all classified. Okay. Do I believe that there's something else out there? Well, we live in a universe way on the edge of a galaxy, kind of like Tatooine. We're on the outer band of a spiral galaxy. We can barely see into the core of the galaxy with the Hubble telescope. When you have a telescope like Hubble, you suddenly see more stars and more galaxies out there. As Carl Sagan would say, billions and billions. Okay. The idea that there isn't anything else out there, to me, is preposterous, because there are suns just like ours. They've discovered planets in the area of orbit around these suns that are in the same exact position as ours, Earth-like planets. Yet we're on the outer rim. Why wouldn't there be life out there? Why wouldn't there be people that were far more advanced than we are? God is eternity itself. Okay, there are fundamentalists out there that don't get it. He made the world in 7 days or 6 days, and then he rested on the seventh. Okay, all right, that's what the Bible says, fine. I don't go to scripta, scripta, It's basically what Martin Luther called only the Bible, sacred scriptures only, because those are the things for us. But out there, his creation goes on and on and on and on. Eternity is. We are the ones. You're right, Gregory. We are the ones who created time. Again, that is something that a lot of people out there cannot understand. God doesn't have time. He's eternal. He sees everything at once. All right? We created time. We looked at the sun, looked at the positions of it. We thought about the seasons, and we put rationality behind it. And we put rationality to a day, 24-hour day. Okay? It's 365 days a year. All right? So the idea that there isn't anything else out there is preposterous to me, because what are the chances that there isn't? I mean, you've got like Neil deGrasse Tyson, whom I hate. He couldn't carry Carl Sagan's brain. There isn't anything out there. Okay, fine. And because you're a PhD in what, astronomy or physics, we're all supposed to kiss your ass? It disrespects, I think, the fundamental idea that life actually, you could compare it to the Force. Life is eternal. Ours ends, but other lives begin. Okay, think about that. It's a cycle. All right? And why wouldn't there be something else out there? Why wouldn't there be civilizations that are more advanced? Why wouldn't there be civilizations that have found out how to use wormholes to get from one end of a galaxy to another, or from one galaxy to another? Why wouldn't, So Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't the best indie movie, but it's a good movie. So the people who are, I don't want to see this, why are they making this? If you don't want to see it, then don't. I'm excited. I mean, seeing Harrison Ford and the fedora and the outfit makes me happy. Okay? It makes me happy. And that's what movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you happy, aren't they? And thanks to Corey. Neil deGrasse Tyson is adult. My favorite indie movie. I think it's a toss-up between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I loved Last Crusade. I absolutely love that movie. I am a World War II history buff. And I went to the Reading Air Show. I talked about that today. And I am up to my neck in love with that time period. You can learn so much about humanity. And a lot of people around us, Antifa, BLM, and the Democratic Party, by studying certain people who lived in Germany in the 1930s. All right? Because those people are acting an awful lot like them. Okay? And I have no bones saying that. But I'm not one of these people who hasn't learned from history. Oh, I agree, Daryl. I absolutely agree. Why would God just stop here? I mean, creation, I hate to say this, all of creation didn't end on the day 6. Every day the grass grows, little birds are being fed by their parents, a little fawn is born, a little baby horse is born. An old horse stands out in the pasture, maybe his last year alive. Lives begin, lives are continued, lives end. Okay. Creation never stops. Mountains rise, volcanoes explode, fish swim upstream to spawn, lava flows, rivers flood, crops grow. It's never ending. Okay, it doesn't end. And that's the thing is there are human beings out there that have a lot of hubris about who they are and what they are. And it's very sad for me to see that they don't get what's going on. They have no respect for life. They don't have no respect for human life. We've got a bunch of neo-Roman pagans running around. Now, if you're a pagan, I'm sorry, but pagan Romans were kind of assholes. My own ancestors, the Vikings, were assholes. Okay, I can say that. I look at them, objectively. If I had been a Jew living back in Palestine in, the year 50 AD, if I was a, Gallic tribeswoman living in Gaul when Caesar's armies came, I wouldn't like him too much. They did things, the Romans created man's inhumanity to man. Not that it didn't exist before, all right? You got the Greeks, you've got the Egyptians, you've got the Persians, you've got the Babylonians, you've got the Assyrians, you've got, Genghis Khan and the rest of them, okay? You look at the Plains tribes in the United States. They were Stone Age tribes. They were nomads. They were absolute fucking barbarians. Yeah, the Mongols, Phoenicians, yeah. And, so the idea of man's inhumanity to man isn't new. It's just that we now know it's bad, okay? And there are people out there that don't like it, that don't want to hear it. Hey, Maze, they don't want to see it. They don't want to hear that the things that they think are cool, and discontinuing life, and for old people because they're old, or killing babies because they're deformed, and things like that. We have become, since for the last 2,000 years, a lot of us are people who protect innocent life. Life is to be protected. And it is the first time in history, all right, that there was a morality clause to society, okay? And now we've got these, this neo-pagan, neo-Roman bullshit going on, okay? And this is why we're where we are, okay? Part of that. And the fact that we don't study history anymore. I mean, the idea that aliens would bother people in a movie, Indiana Jones, he's an archaeologist. They run into something they can't explain. Where it come from, we don't know. Okay? So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this because I love seeing Harrison Ford as Indy. Not as much as I love seeing him as Han Solo. Oh, if they could actually figure out how to clone people, they would do it. I'd like a clone. I'd like your knees, your this, that, your hair, because my hair sucks. And then just take pieces parts. I'm kidding. No, that would, there's a morality issue there that I can't get behind. But anyway, yeah, so KK's in the UK. And it's very, very interesting. But and I think the timeline was moved up because she's leaving. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be good, and Oh, Sakori, thank you. And you guys.